We are going to see how we can able to do 11G installation on Oracle Enterprise Linux 4.7 version. As you can see on the screen, I have a VMware Linux already installed and configured. Now I am going to brief you the steps on how we can do this 11G installation. For that, I am just opening a PuTTY session and I would be able to connect to that. So first time when you log in to a Linux server, it may ask you this particular warning. I can click on yes here. This will generate the keyprint things with the server, and you need to log in as a root user in order to perform some pre-installation steps. Out of those pre-installation steps, the very first one we are going to see is adding a particular group by the name OEL. The purpose of this group is whatever or whoever the users belongs to this particular group will be able to do Oracle installation, and when you run this command on any other flavor of Linux, it will work fine. But when you work or when you issue this command on a Oracle Enterprise Linux, it may give you a warning saying that the group is already existing. So something like what you can see on the screen now. But this is just a warning, and you can ignore it. It doesn't have much impact because Oracle Enterprise Linux is already having the prerequisite configurations for 11G installation or 10G installation. That is how Oracle has developed Oracle Enterprise Linux, so we don't require to worry about it. The next step we are going to do is we are going to add a group by the name DBA, and again the purpose of this particular group is whoever the user belongs to this group will be able to do the Oracle database administration activities like the startup and shutdown of the database, or configuring the listeners, or creating the users, assigning the privileges, or creating table space, etc, etc. And for this also you may land up with warning, so nothing to worry about. And then we are going to add a user by making OEl as the primary group. For that we are going to use the argument for user add command as -g, and for the same user we are making DBA as the secondary group, and to represent that we are going to use capital G. And here you can take any username, like I can take the username as Pawan, etc, etc. But in real time most of the times we will take the username as Oracle, so that is the reason even I am following the same here. And you may get this particular warning again saying that user is also existing, so nothing to worry about. And then we are going to look at how many file systems are there in this server. So there are totally 5 file systems available, starting with the first one is root, and that is exclusively for root users in order to store the system or operating system files. And the second one is /dev/shm, so which is nothing but the shared memory size we are going to allocate from RAM. And the third, fourth and fifth ones are the customized file systems, naming with U01, 02 and 03, and these are the file systems that we can use in order to do our database installation or database creation, etc activities. So now we need to provide the ownership of Oracle user onto these mount points, and for that I am going to use the commands like this: chown Oracle, and then the group name I am taking as OEl, but it is not mandatory that you should use OEl group here. Instead of OEl you can use DBA also. And I need to provide ownership on all the 3 file systems, U01 and U02 and 3. Now you may get one doubt that when we have a user Oracle which is already existing, what would be the password of that user? So by default the password would be Oracle only, the same as username. But if you if you wish to change the password, you can still do that with the help of passwd command. So I'm just issuing that command. I'm changing the password of the user, and these are the steps that we are going to perform. After this, if it is a 10G database installation, we need to set something called kernel parameters. So what is kernel parameters and why we need to set them, I have explained already in 10G installation video, so you can refer to that. And the advantage in 11G is you don't require to set kernel parameters before starting the installation. During the installation, in one of the screens, it is going to run particular script in which the kernel parameters will be set automatically by Oracle itself. So that is one enhancement we have in 11G. So the next step would be copying the software. So usually we would be using a software like WinSCP in order to do that. So I have shown that on how to copy it in 10G installation video. So the same we would be following it here also. And I have already copied the software into my machine, and I have even unzipped that. So I'm just making you to travel to that location U03, and I switch to Oracle user. And after you unzip both the files of 11G, you would be getting a directory by the name database. And how you need to unzip these files is, first you need to unzip the first file, and once upon completion of that, you need to go for second file. Normally I have seen some people trying to unzip both the files in two different putty sessions, but I would strongly recommend to not please do that, because there may be a chance that the directory or the files inside the directory may get corrupted after you unzip that. So do one by one always. It would be a better option in order to have the correct or uncorrupted files or the directory. So once this unzip is done, then you are about to start your installation, and for that we require a graphical interface. And as we already know, Putty doesn't allow you to invoke any graphical interface screens, and for that we need to either depend on the free software like VNC server, like what I used in 10G installation video, or we can rely on some third-party tools that are available in the market like Xseed, Hummingbird, etc. But the one which I am going to show you is a similar to that, which is nothing but Xmanager. So you can download Xmanager from a website called netsarang.com. I'm just browsing that for you. So once you browse to netsarang.com and go to product download tab over here, and either you can download Xmanager 4 or Xmanager Enterprise 4. So Xmanager Enterprise 4 will have some other options, and Xmanager 4 strictly can be used for connectivity between the Windows and the Linux machine graphical invoking. So here actually this is a licensed product, so when you download it, it will be like the trial version for 30 days. So I have just downloaded that file and I have installed it with the default options, and the moment you do that, you would be getting a folder on your desktop like this, and when you double click on that file, you would be getting some options, and the one which we are going to use it here is xstart. So I'm just invoking that here. So here you need to provide the IP address, like my IP in my case is 102, and the protocol you need to use is SSH, which is always better, and the username should be Oracle, and the password which you have given for Oracle user, so you need to just provide that password. And taking the command, you need to click on this right arrow and select the first option, that is xterm, and just click on run. So first time when you run, you may get this SSH security warning. You can click on accept and save. So now you have the screen ready, and here you need to travel to the location where you have the software unzip. So I have my software in U03, so I am traveling to that, and I am moving to database directory, and I am invoking the run installer. So this is the file which will actually allow you to do Oracle 11g installation. So I am just invoking that. So now you can see the installation is being invoked, and this is the first screen that you would be observing, where it is going to ask you the email address and password of My Oracle Support. For people who don't know what is My Oracle Support, it is the online support that Oracle provides you if you have purchased the Oracle database license from them. As we are not using the licensed version, so I'm just unchecking this option and just click on next. It may give you a warning that you have not specified the email ID. No issues, you can just click on yes. Then we have several options over here, but I would like to show how to create a database using DBCA at later point of time. So I just select the option of installing the database software only and clicking on next. So we are using a single instance database installation, so nothing to change in the screen, and the default language would be English, and the edition we are going to install is Enterprise Edition, which will be having most number of features, or I can say all number of features available. And here is the place where it is going to ask you Oracle base and Oracle home locations. Usually I have the habit of making Oracle home path very small so that it's easy to remember. So I am giving my Oracle base as /u01 and Oracle home location as u01 or 11g. and inventory is the location or a central repository where you can find out all the products of Oracle installed on this server. So we need to specify the location of the inventory over here. So you can take any location for having this inventory. I am just taking the inventory location as home Oracle. So nothing to change over here. Click on next. Then it is going to do some prerequisite checks where it is going to find out whether sufficient memory is available or whether kernel parameters are sufficient or not, etc. As I said, in 11G we don't require to set kernel parameters before starting installation. So in this particular screen it is going to show you that. For example, as you can see on the screen, there are 3 kernel parameters that failed to satisfy the requirements, and to fix this problem you need to click on this button which I am showing you, and the moment you click on that it will ask you to execute a script as root user. So just copy that and log in as root user, and you can execute the script. And what the script is doing, you can see by these lines, it is basically setting the kernel parameters on its own. So this is the advantage that I am going to talk about in 11G. So once you do that, click on OK. Once again it will do the prerequisite check. And now, as all the prerequisite checks are being satisfied, this is the final screen that you will look up, where it is going to show you what are all the options you have selected, etc. So just clicking on finish button will invoke your 11G installation, and depends on the RAM size that you have allocated to VMware machine. This would take some time, so let us wait for that to complete. So now you can see over here that the installation got completed, and we have 2 scripts that we need to execute. Let us go and execute those scripts as root user. So here I am there as root user, so I am just executing the scripts. So what exactly the first script, that is orinst-root.sh, will do is, it is going to change the permissions to read and write for the group, and it is going to remove the permissions for the others on this particular inventory location. And the second script, which is root.sh, when we execute this script, it is going to create a file called oratab, and whenever we create a database using database configuration assistant, or shortly DBCA, this oratab file will get updated with that information. So by this, our installation has successfully completed. The moment you press OK button, you would be getting the message that installation is successful. Now we can create a database, but well before that we need to do something called bash profile settings. So let me show you how we can do that. So if you want to go do bash profile settings, you need to go to home location. For that, either you can use CD and enter button, or you can use CD tilt mark and then enter button. Here the bash profile file will be listed as a hidden file, so you can see over here. So what you need to do is, you need to open the bash profile with vEditor, and you need to put some entries like this. The first one is, you need to define the Oracle home path environment variable. So for that we are going to write down this line, and to the path variable you need to append this particular Oracle home variable, and for that we are going to add this line. So these are the two changes that we need to specify in bash profile file before creating the database. And let's save this file, and you need to execute that file in the Xmanager window. So for that you need to just say dot space dot bash underscore profile, and the moment you do that, you can invoke database configuration assistant in the background, that is by using ampersand symbol. This will invoke the database configuration assistant tool, which will allow us to create the database. But this is the common error that you would be observing, especially in 11G release 2. So you would be landing up with the Java hotspot error. So and this is because of a bug that was reported, and I have already listed this in my blog. You can search that in my blog by just typing in Google like this, Java hotspot virtual machine plus Pawan DBA. The first link that you would be getting will be discussing about this error. So the moment you open that, you can see that particular error will be observed because of this particular bug, and for that you need to download a patch from my Oracle support. And I have already downloaded that patch, and let me show you how we can apply that patch. So I have placed that patch in U03, and the patch number we have, okay, sorry, so I have don't have patch available there, so let me copy that using WinSCP. So I am going to copy it to U03 location, and my patch is available in a particular directory. So this is the patch which I am going to talk about. So let me drag and drop and select the binary option. So it's just 1.1 MB, so it will be copying very fast. And now you can see the patch available here. So you need to unzip this patch by just using this command, and the moment you unzip it, you would be getting a directory by the name of patch number. Go to the directory and issue this particular command, $oracle home /opatch, then opatch apply. So if you run this command, this will apply the patch to that particular home. So now it is asking, is your local system ready for patching? Yes. So now you can see the patch was successfully applied. Now you can go to again the Xmanager session and type DBCA with ampersand. So now you can see you didn't got any error, and directly it is invoking the DBCA in order to create the database. So that is one bug that we can identify from 11G release 2 version. Database Configuration Assistant is a tool which will allow us to create a database. Apart from using DBCA, we can also go and create a database using manual method, but that would be because all the manual steps are involved, that would be a bit complex when compared to DBCA. So this is the first screen of DBCA, and when I click on next, you will be having options like creating a database or configuring the database options or deleting a database or managing the templates. Right now our target is to create a database, so I'm just selecting that option, and you need to select what type of database you want to use, whether you want to use OLTP database or you want to go for OLAP database, that is nothing but data warehouse, or if you want you can create some custom database, and generally we will go with general purpose, so I am selecting that. And here you need to provide the database name. I am taking my database name, for example, as ProdDB, and SID, as you know already, it is nothing but instance name. And here I am just enabling the Enterprise Manager configuration. Okay, so this requires listener to be invoked, so we don't have any listener as of now, that's why it's giving the issue. No issues, we can just disable that and we can enable later. And here it is going to ask you sys and system passwords. So, and just to confirm for you people that from 11G onwards, Oracle has made its passwords as case sensitive. So, and also some password complexities are involved, like password should be 8 characters long, etc, etc. So my password doesn't satisfy those conditions, that is why you have seen this window, but still if you want you can continue by clicking on yes. And where you want to locate your data files and all, I am using file system only, so I am just proceeding with default option. Then if you wish you can enable archive mode here itself, so I am just enabling it, and you can specify the archive log destination, or otherwise it will take the flash recovery area, so I am going with the default one. And if you wish you can create some sample schemas over there. I don't want that, so I'm just proceeding. And by default 40% of RAM size will be taken away by SGA and PGA in 11G, so that is one thing. And regarding the character sets, if you wish to go for to store any language of character set, then you need to select something called Unicode. But when you go for the default character set, which we call it as Western European, so that we can store only English characters or certain languages only. So if you wish to store the Japanese characters, or if you wish to store some German characters, etc., normally by default the character set what Oracle chooses will not support. You need to go for Unicode character set. So let the tab open. Yes, now you can choose Unicode character set here. And connection mode represents whether you need to have a dedicated mode or shared server mode. We would be going for dedicated mode only, so I am just clicking on next. Then it is going to list you the locations of your control files, the locations of your data files, and the locations of redo log groups and all. So if you want you can create more number of groups and all here, and I am not doing that at this moment of time. Clicking on next, this would be the final screen where you can create the database. So the advantage with DBCA is, after the database creation, we need to execute catalog.sql and catproc.sql, but when you create database using DBCA, it will take care, Oracle itself will take care of executing those scripts also. So the moment you click on finish, you will be getting this button where it is going to list you all the options that you have selected. Once you click on OK, it will start your database creation. So now you can see the database creation also got completed. So that's how we can do the Oracle installation, 11g installation on Oracle, and creating a database. So thank you for watching this video and hope you learned it.